January 30th, 1972, will forever be etched in the annals of Irish history as Bloody Sunday. On this day, a civil rights march in Derry, Northern Ireland, descended into unimaginable horror. British soldiers opened fire on unarmed civilians, leaving 14 people dead and many more injured. This event became a pivotal turning point in the Troubles, deepening the divide between communities and igniting a new wave of violence. The events of Bloody Sunday sent shockwaves throughout Ireland and beyond. It exposed the raw tensions in Northern Ireland and the brutal reality of the conflict. The day became a symbol of injustice, a rallying cry for those seeking an end to the violence. Bloody Sunday remains a deeply sensitive and controversial event. The pursuit of truth and justice has been long and arduous. The scars of that day run deep, serving as a constant reminder of the human cost of conflict and the importance of peaceful resolution. The roots of Bloody Sunday lay in the escalating conflict in Northern Ireland known as the Troubles. The Catholic minority faced discrimination and oppression at the hands of the Protestant majority and the British state. The Northern Ireland Civil Rights Association, or NICARA, emerged to demand equal rights and an end to discrimination. By 1972, tensions were reaching boiling point. The introduction of internment without trial, a policy that saw hundreds of Catholics imprisoned without charge, further inflamed the situation. The NICRA organised a march in Derry on January 30th to protest this draconian measure and demand equal rights for all citizens. The march was intended to be peaceful, a demonstration of the people's desire for justice and equality. However, events took a sinister turn when British soldiers confronted the marchers, setting the stage for a tragedy that would forever alter the course of the Troubles. As the march progressed towards Derry's city centre, it was diverted into the Bogside, a Catholic neighbourhood, by the British Army. Confusion and tension filled the air. What began as a peaceful protest descended into chaos when British paratroopers opened fire on the unarmed civilians. The air was pierced by the deafening sound of gunfire as soldiers unleashed a volley of shots. Panicked screams filled the streets as people fled in terror. When the smoke cleared, 13 people lay dead or dying, their bodies riddled with bullets. Another victim would later die from his injuries. The victims were ordinary people, young and old, gunned down while exercising their democratic right to protest. The youngest, a 17-year-old boy, was shot in the back while running away. The carnage shocked the world and became a chilling symbol of the brutality that marked the conflict. In the immediate aftermath of the shootings, the British government established the Widgery Tribunal to investigate the events of Bloody Sunday. Led by Lord Chief Justice Widgery, the inquiry was widely seen as an attempt to exonerate the British Army and deflect blame from the soldiers involved. The tribunal's findings, published later in 1972, largely absolved the British Army of any wrongdoing. Widgery concluded that the soldiers had fired in self-defense after being shot at by IRA members within the crowd. This conclusion was met with outrage and disbelief by the victims' families and the wider nationalist community. The Widgery report was widely condemned as a whitewash, a deliberate attempt to cover up the truth about Bloody Sunday. It failed to quell the anger and resentment felt by many in the nationalist community, who saw it as confirmation of the British government's unwillingness to hold its soldiers accountable for their actions. Section 5, the Savile Inquiry, uncovering the truth. The fight for justice and a full accounting of the events of Bloody Sunday continued for decades. In 1998, British Prime Minister Tony Blair announced a new independent inquiry into the killings, led by Lord Savile of Newdigate. The Savile Inquiry was the longest and most expensive public inquiry in British history. It took 12 years and cost over £195 million to complete. The inquiry heard testimony from hundreds of witnesses, including soldiers, victims' families, and eyewitnesses. It meticulously examined thousands of pages of evidence, including previously unseen documents and ballistic reports. In 2010, the Savile Inquiry published its findings, delivering a damning indictment of the British Army's actions on Bloody Sunday. The report concluded that the shootings were unjustified and unjustifiable, and that the victims had posed no threat to the soldiers. Section 6, justice delayed, justice denied. The Saville inquiry's findings were hailed as a victory for the families of the victims and a long overdue acknowledgement of the truth about Bloody Sunday. Prime Minister David Cameron issued a formal apology for the killings, stating that the events of that day were both unjustified and unjustifiable. However, the apology and the inquiry's findings did not bring an end to the family's quest for justice. The Saville report identified a number of soldiers involved in the shootings, including one referred to as Soldier F, who was found to have shot 5 people. Despite the evidence against him, Soldier F was only charged with 2 murders and 5 attempted murders. The prosecution's case faced numerous legal challenges and delays. In July 2021, the Public Prosecution Service announced that it was dropping the charges against Soldier F due to concerns over the admissibility of evidence. Section 7, Scars on the Soul, Bloody Sunday's legacy. Bloody Sunday left an indelible mark on Northern Ireland, deepening the divisions between communities and fueling the cycle of violence. The tragic events of that day are etched into the collective memory of the people, a painful reminder of the cost of conflict. The event became a rallying cry for the Provisional IRA, which saw a surge in support in the aftermath of the shootings. Young men and women, disillusioned and angry, joined the ranks, seeking justice and retribution. The massacre eroded trust in the British government and security forces within the nationalist community. The sense of betrayal was profound, as many felt abandoned and oppressed by those meant to protect them. It fueled a sense of anger and alienation, creating fertile ground for the growth of paramilitary groups on both sides of the conflict. The violence escalated, with each side entrenched in their positions, leading to a prolonged and bloody struggle. The violence that followed Bloody Sunday would claim the lives of thousands of people in the decades that followed. Families were torn apart, and communities were left to mourn their dead, with the scars of the conflict still visible today. Bloody Sunday remains a deeply sensitive and emotive subject in Northern Ireland. The pain and trauma of that day continue to resonate, influencing the present and shaping the future. It serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict and the importance of dialogue, understanding, and reconciliation. Efforts to heal and bridge the divides are ongoing, with many working tirelessly to ensure such tragedies never happen again. The events of that day continue to cast a long shadow over the peace process, highlighting the need for truth, justice, and accountability for past wrongs. Only by confronting the past can Northern Ireland hope to build a peaceful and inclusive future. Section 8. Echoes in Art and Memory. The events of Bloody Sunday have resonated deeply within Irish culture and beyond, leaving an indelible mark on the collective consciousness. Artists, writers, and musicians have responded to the tragedy in powerful and moving ways, ensuring that the memory of those killed is kept alive and the fight for justice continues. Their works serve as a poignant reminder of the human cost of conflict. One of the most iconic songs inspired by Bloody Sunday is Sunday Bloody Sunday by U2, a band that has long been vocal about social and political issues. Released in 1983, the song captured the raw emotion and anger felt by many in the wake of the massacre. Its powerful lyrics and haunting melody resonated with audiences worldwide. It became an anthem for peace and a call for an end to the violence that had gripped Northern Ireland, symbolising hope and resilience. Other notable artistic responses to Bloody Sunday include the film Bloody Sunday, 2002, directed by Paul Greengrass, which offered a visceral and unflinching account of the day's events, bringing the harrowing reality to a global audience. The play The Beauty Queen of Leenane by Martin McDonagh also makes reference to Bloody Sunday, highlighting its enduring impact on Irish society. Through various forms of art, the echoes of that tragic day continue to be felt, reminding us of the importance of remembering and learning from the past. Section 9. The long road to justice continues. The pursuit of justice for the victims of Bloody Sunday continues to this day, with families and supporters unwavering in their quest for truth. The families of those killed and injured have shown remarkable resilience and determination in their long fight for truth and accountability. Their journey has been fraught with obstacles, yet their spirit remains unbroken, They have campaigned tirelessly, demanding that those responsible for the killings be held to account. Their voices have echoed through the years, calling for justice and recognition of their suffering. The decision to drop the charges against Soldier F was met with anger and disappointment by the families of the victims. This legal setback has only strengthened their resolve to seek justice. They have vowed to continue their legal battle, seeking a judicial review of the Public Prosecution Service's decision. Their fight is not just for their loved ones, but for the principles of justice and accountability. The case remains a source of tension and division, highlighting the challenges in addressing legacy issues from the Troubles. It underscores the deep scars left by the conflict and the ongoing struggle for reconciliation. The long road to justice for the victims of Bloody Sunday is far from over. Each step forward is a testament to the enduring strength and courage of the families. The events of that day continue to resonate deeply within Irish society and beyond, serving as a powerful reminder of the human cost of conflict and the importance of never forgetting the past. The legacy of Bloody Sunday is a call to action for future generations to strive for peace and justice.